Welcome back, guys. Automotive Inc. Today we're in the garage. Kind of a sad day in some respects because if you guys watched my most recent videos, you know that I had a beautiful 25 Chevy Silverado HD with the Gen 2 L5P. The truck was doing fantastic, but within the first week or so, it did get some hail damage on it. So unfortunately, we did a lot of towing. It did really good with that. Once the body shop got their hands on it and I went back and picked it up, man, they damaged the heck out of this truck. Used it for a bunch of towing stuff, went on our trips. We did everything we could. I put out a lot of videos on it. There's a few more to come, obviously. But, you know, when I went to take it back for them to fix the damage that they caused, not from the hail, they damaged it way more. And it spent about 5.5 weeks there. They ended up cross-jumping it with a 24-volt pack and fried the tire electrical system. After that, guys, after I picked it up, the truck still has more damage. I said, you're not doing any more work on it. I've been battling with them, trying to find a way to get them to either compensate me for it or whatever, or help me trade out of something. Well, over that month, the truck just rattles, it squeaks, the dashboard's squeaking, the screens are squeaking, it has a shudder in the transmission. And like my mom said, a couple other viewers said, is how can you honestly review or show long-term how that truck's going? Well, honestly, we can't, because I don't know if it's them. I don't know if it's a Chevy thing or whatever. So what I can say is you can go over to the channel and check out up to the first 5,000 miles. The Chevy Silverado 2500 diesel was a fantastic truck. And, you know, we had some input on where to go. The body shop ended up basically telling me to pound send, and that's unfortunate. They said, oh, you can take it to another shop and have the panels taken off, blah, 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 and get that crap fixed. But we get to decide what's reasonable damage versus some basic you're going to have to live with. And we went out and looked at all the trucks, guys. We went out and looked at the 25. There are some 26 Super Duties. No changes from Ford other than some movement of some buttons on the dash and stuff for 25 and going into 26. I've said this before. I think that the 27 model year will probably be the refresh for the half tons for most of them. I don't think we're going to see a revised HD truck from anybody till 27 and a half, 28 model year. And they usually dip their toe in the water and see if it works on the half tons for people before they do it to the big trucks. And if anybody deserved a refresh, it'd be Ram. I don't think that's actually going to happen at all anytime soon, because to change the Ram in a big way, it's going to have to be reconfigured. They're going to change the frame. To give us a longer box and a bigger cab like the half-ton Ram, they're going to really have to retool that truck. I don't see that happening. Why? Because Ram kind of treats it like Subaru in a way, right? I mean, people are just going to keep buying Rams. Some people are going to cross-jump brands over to Ram. And why change the recipe? Most of Subaru's vehicles are just kind of, they change and tweak a few things, add a few things, mostly creature comfort and stuff like that. They might add some different pieces to it, but I don't think there's going to be a big retooling from that. Now, when it comes to GM, so you have the GMC and you have the Silverado, I don't see them changing also for 26 at all. There are 26s already in the lot, so I don't see any changes really. And frankly, the recipe for them kind of works too, right? I mean, they can retool some stuff, but they have a nice truck right now. They have a few things they need to dial in, especially with the Allison, to get that off of everybody's minds. And then when, like I said, going back to Ford, we're not going to see any big changes. So if anybody's going to change, it's probably going to be Ford first, and we'll see that probably 27.5, 28. So that puts it into context is what are we going to do for 2026? And after having that short video where we talked about, you know, what do people want, another 7.3 gas, or what do they want, there is a whole demographic of people that I've left out over the years. Because I've had so many Fords and so many Chevys on the channels, and I've had so many Rams that weren't even ever on the channel. People just automatically think I'm a Ford fanboy. Well, Ford produces and sells more trucks, period. And so it's kind of an easy give, because if Ford could just get their quality concerns down, they would have a rock solid truck, and it's very compelling because they're nice, right? And they have the biggest gasser on the market. We've already put a 7.3 Godzilla to the test. It was fantastic. I have some older Power Stroke stuff. I think my last Power Stroke was 2021 on here, and that is out there if you guys want to watch it. Not a lot of big changes from those guys when it comes to the diesels. No new gassers coming out for 26. We already know that Kong is crushing it. The LAT 6.6 was fantastic. Great engine, great switch from diesel to gas for anybody that wants to do it. But we just did a whole bunch of it. We just dissected the 25 Chevy Silverado over the last, say, 6 months. So if you want to see tech, you want to see trailering stuff, you want to see cameras, you want to see everything, it's all on the channel. You can go over there and check that out. Same thing with the Ford. So when I would decide I was going to go back and get rid of Optimus, then it came to really quick was, okay, we got to drive the Ford again. Drove the Ford, and to be honest with you, after driving the Chevy, I was kind of like, wow, the cab doesn't feel as monstrous as I remember it, even though by volume it does have more space and cargo, places to hide stuff in there. But it just was kind of like, okay. So then we went and drove the Ram. Then we went and drove a GMC because I thought, well, we could split the difference, go GMC because they were trying to work a deal for me. And to be honest with you, the GMC just didn't have enough swagger. It just didn't. The Chevy just has a face that looks like it could roundhouse somebody. So GMC was kind of out. Drove the Ford. Yep, Ford's changed a few obliques and stuff, but really the whole demographic of people I've left out because people just think I'm just an anti-Ram guy was Ram trucks. So why would we do a Ram, right? They haven't changed the cab, they haven't changed the box lengths, but for 2025 they brought out the new ZF8, which the transmission on the Ram was never really a bugaboo for me. I had one ASIN kaput on me, and all my 68 RFEs, all my G56 manuals were great, my ASINs were great. So but we have a new ZF, and we have a retooled Cummins diesel. And so what's compelling with going with potentially a Ram would have been price point, right? These trucks have been sitting on the lots, and they're dropping. The 25s are way discounted. They even have some 24s and 23s, believe it or not. So if you really had a drive to go get a real deal, you could go snag a 23 or 24. They are here in Colorado. But I mean, really, when it came to bones is we have to revisit, here it is, the Ram truck. And so we went out and looked at all of them, and bang for buck, this truck made a lot of sense. Now, the reason it made sense is because there are a lot of people like Rams. I've actually liked Rams since the late 80s, and then the 90s when they went to the truck style in 94. I've been a big fan of them. And so can the 2026 Ram compete with the offerings from GM and Ford? Because frankly, I've nitpicked Ram quite a bit, and they didn't change anything. Well, for 2026 they did. So guys, this is the new truck. We haven't named it yet. This is a 2026 Ram 2500. Now, what's cool for 2026 is most of the 2500s have got the 11040 payload package, or gross vehicle weight rating, which means it has the towability, depending on your trim and everything, to tow 20,000 pounds. Now, Ram specs are a little hard to dissect through. I haven't seen a 26 spreadsheet, and they don't do the thing like Chevy does where they put that on the door where your gooseneck and stuff is. But this truck right here, and I will find it out later, is rated anywhere between 19.5 and 20,000 pounds of towing on a 2500, which is fantastic. All the 26 come with the camper snowplow prep suspension upgrade in the front, standard, it's my understanding. And bang for buck, this was cheaper than a diesel custom. And we'll break down the whole truck and everything, but this truck has a payload of 3,095 pounds, so we're payload conscious here this time. And what's compelling about this truck, and we're going to have lots of other videos on it later. I said this was going to probably be a reasonably timed video, but man, there's so much to unpack when you have to move trucks because somebody fucked it up. But anyway, there's a lot to unpack on this. And what's cool about the 2500 over Ford, over this, and I've never been a fan of it, I'm a leaf spring guy, is the 2500 now with this kind of payload and this kind of towability. It has a 5-link rear coil in it. And I got a lot to talk about on that and what I think about that so far. This is a 2026 yet to be named Ram 2500 with the HO Cummins, the new ZF8, and I gotta tell you guys, I love this freaking color. This is called Forged Blue Steel, is a carryover from 25, maybe even older, I don't know, because I don't remember seeing it. But once I saw it and said, we got to do, for 2026, we got to run a 2026 truck, and here it is. So I hope you guys will subscribe so that way you can compare this Ram to the Ford, to the Chevy, and really see if going with the tried and true method will work. And so far, guys, I really like this truck. Make sure you guys do subscribe, like, notification bell, and I'm going to catch you on the next one.